welcome back. Earlier you saw my husband and myself try to attempt at someone else's recipe for caramel apple fudge, and we failed miserably. Sad to say, but since then I have decided that I'm going to go back to Old Faithful. I have a plan, and so I'm bringing y'all along with me for that plan. And here's what I'm thinking. I know that the fantasy fudge recipe works. I know that I can make chocolate fudge and peanut butter fudge and all the kinds of fudge, and they come out perfectly. So I'm going to use the fantasy fudge recipe, but instead of vanilla, I have found this, see it over here, green apple flavoring. Now, I did a lot of research on this, and this is obviously for food, but it is super strength flavoring. It says it's 4 times stronger than standard extracts, ideal for candies, fudges, frosting, baking, and more. And it's gluten-free, by the way. So I'm thinking if it takes a teaspoon of vanilla in the fantasy fudge recipe, then right at the end when I would normally add the vanilla, I'm gonna add 1/4 of a teaspoon, because it's 4 times as strong, of this green apple. And that's gonna give us that caramel, or that yummy green apple flavoring. And then I got this caramel, and I'm going to pour that over the top. And just for fun, I got some peanuts that are already crushed up, chopped up, and then I'm gonna put those on half of it because some people like nuts and some people don't. I feel like there's a commercial about that. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I'm also, instead of, normally I make this in a cookie sheet, but I'm gonna do something different. Stepping outside my comfort zone here. And it says to use a 9-inch square pan, but I made an eclair cake in my 9-inch square pan yesterday, and so it's sturdy. It's got eclair cake in it. So we're gonna use a 9x7, I think. What does that say? 9x7. We're gonna use a 9x7, and then I'm going to, it says to line it with foil, just like I do in my cookie sheet. Now, I'm gonna do my trick, where I turn my pan upside down and measure. You want the foil to come over the edge because you've got to be able to pull it out to get your fudge. So I have flipped this over. I'm going to form it to the size of the thing. And then turn my pan back over. Should slip right back in there so nicely. All right. You want to spray this with Pam or your spray of choice. This is going to give it, instead of, usually I make that thin little pieces of fudge. This is going to be a little bit thicker, and then that'll give us, we'll just make smaller pieces. Okay, so in case I didn't say it previously, one thing that I do know about fudge is you need to have all of your stuff ready. Have all of your ingredients ready for this, because once you start cooking it, you don't ever want to stop stirring it. You don't want to burn it. So I have already prepped all of my ingredients, and what you need for this is 3 cups of sugar, which I've gotten together there, 1 small can of evaporated milk, and this is 5 ounces, and then butter, which is 1.5 sticks of butter. We're going to cook all of that, bring it to a boil, and then stir for at least 4 minutes until it gets to, I think it's 234 degrees Fahrenheit. It tells us on the candy thermometer. Have your candy thermometer out, which I do have out by my big pot. And then I am using white chips for this because I thought that would be best with the apple flavoring. So I have my white chips ready. Then you're gonna need a jar of Jet Puff. This is the 7-ounce jar that you need for that. I have my caramel ready, my peanuts ready. and my apple flavoring. I already got out my 1/4 teaspoon because I don't want to be fumbling around when it's time. So I'm going to move you over to the stove behind me, and we are going to get to getting. And I'm going to take my butter. I have started my stovetop, and I've got it on medium high. I'm going to put my butter in first. Let it start melting. It should melt pretty fast. I have shaken this 1,000 times, but I'm going to shake it one more time before I put it in. This is my evaporated milk. Pour that in. And my sugar. This is definitely not a low sugar recipe. So we're going to stir this because we do not want to burn it. I love that something that seems so complex, you know, when you think about fudge and making fudge, you know, like that it's probably something really hard and difficult to do. It really is easy. So if you've never tried it, you think you can't cook, I really encourage you to give it a try. It really is easy. All right. Once this starts boiling, you do not want to stop stirring. So I just keep giving it a few quick little stirs here. About that apple flavoring. So I'm going to put the link to this in my description because I thought for sure that there was probably some kind of apple extract or apple flavoring or something like that. Maybe even Wilton made something, and so I looked at Walmart and Publix, and Michael's has a lot of, or Joann's and Michael's have some cake making things, and nobody had anything apple, which I was really surprised about. But Loran oils came through for me, big time. So we're gonna see how that works. I really hope this turns out because I think it would be super fun and something that, you know, nobody ever does. So chances are if you were to make this and take it like to Thanksgiving, it's not going to be like pumpkin pie where everybody brings a pumpkin pie or everybody brings sweet potato casserole. Nobody's going to bring caramel apple fudge but you. All right, I see it starting to bubble around the edges, so I definitely do not want this to burn. All right, so I started my timer for 4.5 minutes, and the reason is, well, Alexa's setting 2 timers for me, so there's that. The reason I did that is because it says 4 minutes at least, but it never seems to get to that softball stage at 4 minutes. It's usually about 4.5 minutes, so I just went ahead and set my timer for 4.5 minutes. So here's where we're going to stir forever. Oh, we're really close. Alexa, stop. All right, that's 4.5 minutes. Let's see if we're at that stage. Alexa, stop. She's a little ornery today. We're there. All right. Let's see. Oh, we are so close. We are like, okay, we're there. I'm turning off the heat, taking out my candy thermometer. I'm not going to stop stirring, but I am going to move this off of the burner. And I'm going to move you guys over here. Sorry, I hope I didn't make anyone dizzy with that. I'll move you guys over here. All right, I'm adding in my marshmallow fluff. Add that in first. Let me stir that a little bit. You want to get all of it out. All 7 ounces. Now, in that other recipe, if you remember, we used mini marshmallows. I mean, it's all marshmallow, so I don't know what the difference is, but this has always worked for me, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Stir that. Let me get all of that marshmallow off of my spatula. Okay, I'm going to put my chips in here. Let those melt. So basically, you're just stirring until it's all melted up. And then when it's for sure all melted, then I'm going to add my apple. And I'm not doing it too soon because this is really hot. And I don't want to burn that apple flavoring. And I don't know if it will. It's probably fine to add it right now, but just don't want to take any chances. It's almost mixed up all the way. So I'm going to grab my green apple. Oh yeah. So when it starts like pulling itself away from the sides of the pan, you can see that. That's when it's ready. That's when it's nice and ready. Okay, so since it's at that level where I like it, I'm going to put my 1/4 teaspoon of apple flavoring in there. It smells strong, so I don't think they're lying when they say 4 times as strong. Oh my gosh. Okay, that smells so good. It smells like a green apple Jolly Rancher. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. Okay, I think this is gonna work, y'all. I really do. Okay, that's perfect. So let's come over here to the pan and let's get this in there. We're just gonna pour it right in. And this is thicker than what I'm used to, remember? It's okay, we got this. Okay, this is going to be pretty thick. All right, so here's the deal. Ordinarily, I let my fudge just kind of set up on the countertop because I feel like it gets like, if you put it in the fridge, it gets condensation and stuff on it. But I'm gonna let it cool a little bit. I'm trying to decide when I want to add this caramel. You feel how warm that is. It's pretty warm right now. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait a few seconds. It's pretty warm, but it's already starting to set up. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's put some of this on here. It's really pretty. Okay, remember the part about nuts? I'm gonna put it on half. And then it's gonna be kind of like a caramel apple rolled in nuts, right? But I think I'm going to let this set up a little bit in the fridge to cool, and then we'll come back and take it out and cut it. Okay, we are back. I've had the caramel apple fudge in the fridge. I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe not quite that long, but it's killing me. I'm dying to see how it turned out. So I'm going to, and it did, pull right out of that glass dish, which I'm just gonna put away. Let's see how this turned out. Okay, I can smell the green apple. I'm not sure, I want to touch this. Okay, the caramel is pretty wet. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. We're going to see. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to cut it right on this tin foil. Aluminum foil. I keep calling it tin foil. It's not even tin. Could put it on wax paper, but I think I'm just going to go with what we got. And then I'm going to give it a taste. I do have a cutting board down. I'm going to take a side with the nuts. Oh yeah, that cut so easy. Okay, way better than that other thing we tried to do, which we won't talk about anymore. All right, I'm just gonna cut a little piece of this off here at the end. Is that even a thing? Oh, it's still a little warm. Not really warm, but just a little bit. Right in the middle. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm just warm. All right, let's check it out. I'm gonna taste, okay. That's a little piece of that fudge. It's got just a hint of green apple in it. It's good. It tastes, I don't think I've ever tasted anything like it before. It's like chocolate Jolly Rancher. All right, I'm gonna take a bite of this with the caramel and the nuts and see. Okay, so it is kind of like a caramel apple, because when you bite into that, because we did it so thick and there's that little bit of crunch of the nuts, it's almost like biting into a crunchy caramel apple. but at the same time it's soft. I don't know. I don't know any other way of explaining it other than it is legit good fudge. I'm telling y'all, that fantasy fudge recipe, you cannot go wrong. I'm sorry to the other lady that had that great recipe that we tried. We did try. But you cannot go wrong with this fantasy fudge recipe. And all I did was substitute the vanilla for that apple flavoring. And this is good. It is rich. So because it's so thick, I'm not used to having my fudge this thick because I do it in a cookie sheet usually. So I feel like I'm gonna have to make really tiny pieces of these, but I'm gonna eat this piece. Because it's good. I like the nuts. I think the nuts do it. You're gonna want this. It's okay, I'm gonna eat it. I really cannot even finish this piece. It is so good and so rich. And so loaded with sugar. Okay, I am gonna eat it. Oh good. Thank you for stopping by to Jen's Extraordinary Life. I hope you like these things. I would love for you to subscribe to our page. Please click the little bell so you can get the notifications of all the things that I do. Check the description for all the recipes and everything. Let us know if you try some of these recipes and how they turn out. And I hope that you have an extraordinary life, and we'll see you in the next one.